The Larkhall Plan Partnership was set up from first sector organisations who agreed that this was the right time to do an exercise asking people what they thought of living in their communities and what were the issues and what could potentially be better for their quality of life. And we were very fortunate to receive the support of our local politicians and the leadership of the council and other public sector authorities who said that if we carried out this particular survey, then they would take into consideration the results and potentially these would feed into policies and proposals that would be happening in the future. And the responses have been analysed and are part of a report that will be released very shortly. And it's not a glossy, but it actually contains all the views as things that they feel that needs to be done in order to make Larkhall and the surrounding areas better places to live.
The questionnaire has given the local community the opportunity to influence the format, the content and the location of a new leisure centre and a new health and social care facility. I'm chair of the local Health and Social Care Forum, which is a voluntary organisation to ensure that the community has a voice in future services for both health and social care, to ensure that the services that are planned for the future are what the community want and not what the powers that be think they want. And it's really important we challenge, but we work in partnership. I've really been proud to be part of this, and can I thank the 1,812 people that filled the questionnaire for their commitment, and many of whom have said that they would like to continue to be part of this process. And I'm sure if we all work together, we can then have a better outcome for the people of Larkhall and the surrounding villages.
Having been involved prior to this with the Our Place Our Plan consultation, we knew that it was really important that we get to hear the voice of the community, so that as a charity we can make sure we're meeting those needs of the community members. So our members were quite aware of the importance of doing that and why it was getting done.
I think it's important that everybody that lives in this area gets an opinion and that everybody gets to see everybody else's opinion. More things that could be added for young people to do. When everybody pulls together and there's a gala day or something like that, the atmosphere is really, really good, and everybody does make an effort to get to know people and chat and stuff like that. I do feel like that. We love going to the gala days and stuff like that. The key things for me are probably the amount of pubs that are in this area. I don't think it's good. My siblings did a lot of activities and after school clubs and things like that, and we did have a lot of facilities available to us. Me and my older sister, we used with the dancing as well. We were in the halls and we were able to be taught by the older teachers and things like that as well, and we loved that. We did the art classes and the Mackin Trust as well. We did a lot of activities with them. I do think that the public buildings could do with a wee bit of investment for the kids that are young now, and they might not be able to get the same kind of experiences that me and my siblings had when we were younger, with the art classes and stuff like that as well. If these buildings are falling apart, then the kids won't be able to go in and join in and make new friends and have the same childhood that I did have, so that would be quite sad, I think. I think that would be sad to think that I would get it and they don't. I like the fact that I'm being able to do this as well, because I'm hoping that it will reach out to those people that it needs to reach out to get the investments done on these buildings, so that we can help the younger kids now get the experiences that we did get.
We have good green space links in Larkhall, so there's lots of good walking areas, and we have a SSSI and we have Morgan Glen, so there's real assets in this part of the country. One of the big issues was a leisure centre, and we had a huge question on that, and everybody feels that the leisure centre has passed its sell-by date. It's really, we need to have it either replaced or renewed, and I know there's plans afoot to design a new one, and the information that we gathered in the survey has actually fed into that. And also the lack of outdoor play areas and space and games spaces, cycling routes, places for a running track. The next stage is actually the creation of an action plan, which will identify all the issues that have been raised by local people. Some of the information will be able to be fed through to community organisations who will pick up some of the issues raised and seek funding in order to build on these projects and resolve some of the issues that people have raised. That's something that the community can do. We can't always depend on the public authorities to actually do all of the things that we need to happen in our community. Sometimes we have to get together in order to do it ourselves, and we will have to have discussions with the public authorities and the private authorities and the community organisations to see who would be best placed in order to deliver some of these particular projects. We'll continue to work with our partners in this particular project because we feel that this is the right time for local people to have a say in the provision of services and the regeneration of their communities. The COVID response has created a Larkhall Community Network, and the responsibility for this will lie with the folks in that group together with the Larkhall Plan Partnership. We will inform people in the community via social media, and we also have a newsletter.
The CPP will have a presentation, hopefully from yourselves, at a CPP meeting so that all the partners can hear about the priorities raised through your survey and through the work you've done. Your plan will then be integrated into the South Lanarkshire Community Plan. So we'll hear the presentation, we'll integrate it into the plan, and then we will monitor the progress and the actions on that plan through the CPP board. Remember, there's all the partners in the CPP, so there's the chair and the chief executive and the public health director within the NHS. There's business, there's Strathclyde Passenger for Transport, there's Skills Development Scotland, there's the council, and then there's the third sector and other partners that are part of that forum. Now, that's where participatory budgeting might come in. So it might well be the council say, we know we've got these roads that need repaired, and you might say, these are our priorities here. So there might be a bit of discussion, a bit of local consultation, and maybe about a bit of use about how does the money within that department's resource get spent? What are the priorities for the community? As long as things were being talked through, you could allocate a certain amount of money to progress the local community's own plans that you've had. It might be about securing some external funding, for example, and the community benefit money as part of community enterprise resource budget that's there to help the community progress their own plans. I mean, your priorities are going to be our priorities because they're important to you. Some of those things you will crack on and get done, and you'll get them done by working with other local organisations in Larkhall, and you'll achieve them and complete them. Some of them are done quite quickly, but other things will need to all work together. There might need to be other folk that you negotiate a bit of time and space with to help you take them forward.
We listen to what our members tell us, we listen to what consultations are going on in the community, and from that we try and put in place services. So we're always happy to test new services, trial new things out to best meet the needs of our members and the wider community. At Larkhall District Volunteer Group, we found it really important to be part of the Larkhall Planning Partnership, so that we could make sure our members' voices were heard within community consultation, and also so that as a charity we could see where our place was within the partnership, and also from the results that were coming through. There are certain priorities that are coming through from the community that are things that Larkhall District Volunteer Group will be able to meet. There are other things that will come through that will be a partnership that will need to be done between Larkhall District Volunteer Group and other members, or just other members. We found that having this partnership was really vital, so when COVID hit, it was really easy for us to mobilise. The partners already had a long established working relationship. There was great trust and professional respect amongst the key workers. So that allowed us to bring all our organisations together really quickly, working with the same aim, which was to help and assist our local community in any way we could.
We had the partners who were already part of the Larkhall Plan Partnership, and very quickly we came together and produced the COVID Rainbows. Mr T's Meals was brought into that, so for a few months he was cooking up to 100 meals a day, 5 days a week, feeding the people of Larkhall, and that brought all the partners together because one man's cooking had to have a support round about it. The prescription run, which was crucial, particularly for those that were shielding. The great support that we had from the private shops in the main street. They were there and they felt as part of their response was they would help us to make the people of Larkhall valued. That's what we wanted to do. It wasn't a criteria that we met, it was we wanted to show them the value that they have. And it's just recognising the kindness of over 50 volunteers who stepped up to the plate to serve their community. The community response has taken many faces. Some are people who are standing on their doorstep with tears in their eyes because the hot food was coming to an end and they had appreciated it so much. One woman said, "This is what has got me through this time in my life." Community spirit was inflamed. That's the only word I can think of at this time.
So community-led action planning is definitely the future for South Lanarkshire. We want to ensure that our communities have an appropriate voice and they're able to articulate what's important to them. The overall community plan should be based around the priorities expressed by our communities, and therefore it's the voice of our communities that dictates what the council delivers and what the community planning partners deliver. The council is not the council, it's your council. So the information that's been collected from the Larkhall area involving all the villages around the town and the town itself couldn't be more important. The information is going to be used to help us plan the future of health services, for leisure services, education, housing and a wide variety of other services that the wider community planning partnership provide. And for us it's important that we take decisions about what areas we invest in, what services are delivered, and we actually design services in conjunction with communities rather than communities just being the recipients of the services that we decide have to be delivered. So what I'm representing is a completely changed approach to community planning that's actually built on the foundations at a community level, and that the rest of the structure supports those aspirations.
Sometimes we've felt in Larkhall that we've kind of been ignored and things are semi-reasonable, and as long as things are semi-reasonable then just let them be, whereas this has actually raised the key things that people feel could be better. We live in really exciting times and this is an amazing piece of work that's been done, and we hope that we can do really, really good positive things in our communities as a result of this, with the help of partners and also the public and the private sector. But the young people are the ones that are key to the future, and they have given us lots of information in terms of what they would like to see and what could be better for them living in this community, and that's contained in the report. And I do hope that you'll pick up the report. You can see it online. There are hard copies available around the town, so please have a look and see what you think, and please get in touch if you've got any questions.
So reflecting back on the work that's been done by the Larkhall Planning Partnership and the COVID Rainbows Group, and also the work we're looking to do with the Larkhall Community Network, for me personally and also professionally, it's been a fantastic opportunity to build key relationships with other organisations, but also to support other key workers and also get that support back. And it's been a real blessing during this crisis to have all these people who have your back, which has allowed us to continue through really, really difficult times where we've been overwhelmed by the need of the community and also just what's happening in our own lives. So it's been a real pleasure being part of this partnership.